We use overthinking as a survival tool, mentally simulating every disaster so we can stay prepared. But when that engine of worry runs continuously, it eventually begins to shatter the very machine it was built to protect. Consider an 83-year-old woman who lived for 8 decades in a state of constant hypervigilance. Orphaned early in life, she learned that the world was dangerous. To stay safe, she used worry as a shield, treating every moment as a rehearsal for a potential catastrophe. By her 80s, that mental habit had taken a devastating physical toll. Her nervous system remained in a state of permanent alarm. She couldn't sleep. She experienced compulsive rhythmic movements. Her body had effectively lost the biological ability to rest. This level of overthinking represents a desperate attempt to force certainty onto a world that is inherently unpredictable. It is an exhausting struggle against the way reality is actually built. To see that building material, we have to look past our perceptions. A transmission electron microscope is a tool used to observe the atomic structure of matter at its most basic level. When we look at a solid object through this lens, we see a selected area electron diffraction pattern. The glowing white spots reveal exactly where the atoms are. Notice the vast expanses of pitch black surrounding those spots. The atoms that make up your body and everything you touch are separated by immense distances of empty space. Solid matter is, at its core, overwhelmingly hollow. Uncertainty and emptiness define the universe's basic structure. On the atomic level, there is no fixed solidity, only a field of probability. Human anxiety is the friction created when we try to solidify a universe that is naturally fluid. We are trying to grip a reality that is mostly space. Eventually, the human mind collapses under the immense weight of trying to manage that empty space through sheer mental force. I hit this wall. The pressure to control every variable led to a complete physical breakdown. I was only able to sleep 1 day a week, and my skin began to literally disintegrate from the stress. I reached a state of somatic surrender, where my intellect simply ran out of power. In that forced silence, I began to perceive the nature of the emptiness we saw in the electron microscope. If the gaps between our atoms aren't just nothing, they must be something responsive. I call this the field, an underlying intelligence that occupies that empty space and coordinates the patterns we call matter. We interact with this field through resonance. Like a tuning fork, strike one, and a second resonates at the exact same frequency. The field mirrors your internal frequency. Approaching life with fear creates external friction, while coherence creates external flow. Because the field responds to your current state, your direct physical sensations provide a better navigation map than your thoughts. A settled gut or a subtle vibration in the spine tells you more about your alignment with reality than a dozen mental simulations. Moving from thinking to feeling allows for a systemic collaboration with the world. You stop guessing and start responding to the signals reality is already sending. We were hit with an immediate roadblock. We needed highly specialized mass flow controllers, but our budget was completely inadequate to buy them. My typical reaction to this kind of pressure was to panic and micromanage. I would have spent weeks suffocating my team with oversight, convinced that my anxiety was the only thing that would produce a solution. Instead, I applied what I had learned about the field. I set the technical requirements, delegated the task to my team, and intentionally released the need to know how it would happen. Through a series of unforeseen connections and vendor opportunities my team found, the perfect equipment arrived under budget. Trusting a wider intelligence is a strategic optimization. It allows a network of possibilities to solve problems that an isolated, worried mind cannot even see. We often fear that letting go of control means we've stopped trying or abandoned our responsibilities. There is a mechanical distinction between apathy and active delegation. Apathy is a flat line. Active delegation starts with a high-intensity intention, then releases the execution path to the system. You stay focused on a coherent goal while remaining unattached to the specific route. You see this in a crowded Indonesian market. To get through, you can't rigidly plan every step ahead of time. You hold your destination in mind, then remain present and responsive to the spontaneous flow of the people around you. True coherence means participating fully in the present moment. You take the next necessary step without obsessing over a transactional scorecard of outcomes. Dropping the illusion of control reveals what abundance and freedom actually look like. You can find a deep calm and steady presence, even when you cannot possibly predict exactly what happens next. Aiming for a perfectly secured, perfectly planned future is a strategy for exhaustion. You reclaim a massive volume of mental energy when you stop fighting the uncertainty that is built into the universe. Life possesses an intelligence that far exceeds your capacity to plan. When you stop strangling reality with control, you finally give it the room to work.